The failed Trump assassination has exposed quite a few questionable individuals in the video game industry. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and I've had a slew of people messaging me with tons of information and tweets and transgressions from people who work in the video game industry, saying some abhorrent things, ridiculous things, things I would not believe if I did not see myself, all because President Trump had an attempted assassination on him that did not go through. And because that bullet missed, it's actually exposed the extreme rot hiding underneath the video game industry. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down these ridiculously bad takes. And here's the thing, I want to start this off with the thing that I always say. Free speech is one of the great things that we have in this country, and I'm very glad that we're able to say what we want. But it doesn't mean freedom of accountability. These people need to be taken to task, and I am doing that with this video, holding them accountable for their words, letting them look into a mirror and wonder, maybe I should try to be a better person because this ain't it, Chief. Ironically, I want to start this off by giving credit to John Phipps, Magic Tech Dad, someone who is completely unhinged and has a crazy community and some odd followers, I guess is the nicest way to say it, on their Twitter. They actually took the notice and saying, I'm going to step outside myself and tell everyone that follows me, all these crazy unhinged people in the video game industry, that, hey guys, watch yourself. Don't actually say what's on your mind right now because it might end up biting you. I'm going to advise my friends on social media to be very, 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 very careful about what you post. Trust me. Almost coming from the voice of someone who's dealt with this before, John? Are you speaking from experience? Maybe these thoughts that you have, these unhinged things going on inside your head, you might not want to put those words together with the letters and say, hey everyone, here's what my brain is telling me right now. No, probably not the best idea. And I think it's hysterical that John Phipps, of all people, this guy.
If I ever meet any one of you motherfuckers in public, fuck,
say it, big man. Say it, big man.
You're getting fucking curb stomped. I'll put you through a fucking table. Like, this is fucking garbage, dude.
If that's the guy telling people how to act properly, I weep for our future. But let's talk about a couple of things real quick before I even dive into the video game industry. Specifically, there are people on the outskirts of it, like Alyssa Mercante, which I covered in a previous video. Nicest way to put it would be questionable tweet pushing out a meme of a stormtrooper. On the surface, that's funny. In full context and knowing exactly the type of person she is, knowing that she wanted President Trump dead based off of follow-up tweets, it's not that funny. In fact, it's quite unhinged. But that, believe it or not, is not even close to the worst thing I've seen. Here's another one from someone on the outskirts. Someone who is a painter in the video game industry and does pictures and goes to conventions and tries to sell his art to people. This dude, who I'm familiar with, I have had a couple interactions with him a long time ago, and I cut those off as soon as I saw that this guy was suffering from severe TDS. Square Painter posted on Twitter before ultimately deciding better against it, I'm voting for the bullet. Whoa, bro. I understand, in the heat of the moment, sometimes we'll think we have something funny to say and, oh, this is going to garner some attention. We've seen plenty of that with this whole situation. But to think putting that on Twitter, even if it's deleted, even if it's immediately, the fact that you put it on there and posted it lets everyone know that this is exactly what you're thinking. Like, it's not, maybe I should hesitate about this. Maybe it's not the best time for this kind of thing. No, it's, I'm going to put this out there because I want him dead. And this is what sucks about it. This guy plays bass in Rex Viper, the band that was started by a bunch of people with Cinemassacre, and James Rolfe is a part of this. And James Rolfe doesn't want anything to do with this political BS. And he has someone like this playing bass, dragging his name through the mud. That's not fair to James. That's not fair to any of these people. Like, not only do you not represent just yourself, but when you do something like this, the whole community is going to start looking into you, see who you associate with, who you group with, and wonder about what they associate with. Like, this is unhinged. You have to think about the consequences when you tweet this. And these are just people on the outskirts. Let's dive deeper into the game industry, specifically someone who works on Halo as a producer, a guy I've talked about previously. This Nick character, who of course has me blocked on Twitter because I covered him in a previous video, and people never like when I talk about him. It's almost like they don't want to be accountable for their own actions and instead just want to block everything out instead of say, maybe I need to take a deeper look into how I'm acting and take some accountability myself. No, we already know that's not happening. Anyways, people were sending me these tweets from him and I'm like, yeah, not surprised. This guy is clearly unhinged. He's the same guy that was worried about making guns in a first-person shooter game, Halo, because he felt like guns were violent and he felt awkward and morally wrong for making these fantasy guns, and he didn't know if this was the right thing to do. And I'm like, bro, get a new career. This ain't for you. He goes on to talk about how he wishes well for the people in the crowd and never wanted those bullets to hit anyone in the crowd. I feel like he's leaving someone out in this, though. I can empathize for the folks in the crowd. No one deserves to go to an event or their job and fear getting shot or killed. Fair enough. I would agree with that. But that's kind of weird that you left out, the guy that was being shot at from that tweet. Zed replied, just the folks in the crowd, but not the guy they tried to kill. This is one of those things where it's like lying by omission. It's not necessarily lying straight up to the person. He's like, oh, I'm being sympathetic to people. I wish them well. I hope everyone's okay. But the reality of this tweet is anything but. Empathize for the folks in the crowd. What about Trump? This is severe mental derangement from these people. And it's actually, in a weird way, entertaining discovering just how unhinged they can be. Because Twitter opens a portal for people to see inside the brains of what's going on. These people would keep it upstairs all the time. Now they have a place on the internet where they can publicly speak. People are like, holy crap, you are legit insane. I don't want to get too in the weeds with this stuff, but it feels like these people are all the same NPC with the same thought process that's just so broken that they'd have no idea how to even act in real life. David Smith, the guy that got laid off when Kotaku Australia closed, retweeted Tyson Brody saying, you're gonna want to be careful about what you post for the next 24 hours. Because, like I said, it's the same thing as John Phipps. All these people are worried about their own kind because they know, deep down in their own mind, just how unhinged they really are. Like, it's a spectacle for all to see. Twitter has exposed the irrational mentality of humanity, and it goes so deep. And that's not even the worst one. I gotta thank Grums for this one, bringing it to my attention. Brand ambassador for Smite encouraged Trump shooter to try again. They have since taken it down, and defends her beliefs that the assassination attempt was faked. She encouraged the shooters to try again. Like, first off, why would you say this? Like, this is straight up indoctrination. Like, these people have been watching so much media, they've been told how to think for so long that this anger and hatred is built up inside of them, filled them to the brim with just so much hatred that they think that the person that they don't like needs to die. Tempty the Hag tweeted, if at first you don't succeed, followed by 4 dots, almost like, hey, I'm being really clever with saying this so people can't get mad at me because it could relate to so many different things. It doesn't necessarily mean I want shots at Trump again. It could mean that it's just empowering people to try harder in life and work harder. And if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. That's how the saying goes. But then she kept going. This is so staged, though, and going to be very effective. All right, here's the thing with the whole stage thing. I personally don't believe it was staged, but people are welcome to think if they think it's staged, have at it. I mean, I've seen crazier conspiracy theories proven right in my day, so I don't automatically disbelieve everything. I just currently, based off the information and facts available to me, do not believe this was staged. So I'm not going to get mad at her for saying that she feels like it's staged. That's her right to do that. To be 100% clear, I absolutely believe the target of today's shooting would sacrifice his own supporters to further his candidacy. I think that it is ultimate tragedy behind the Trump grift. There's the word grift again with these people. They have no idea what the word grift means, as Hypnotic always says. They just use this word as one of their buzzwords. Oh, it's a grift. You're making videos talking about this, so you're grifting off of it. It's like, Help me with this one. He does not care about the people who have made him who he is. So this person on Twitter is straight up saying that Trump is staging this and also is behind staging it. He's the one that put it together and also hired the shooter to shoot his ear off and kill people behind him and put everyone else in danger. Yeah, I know it sounds absolutely insane when you put it that way, but this is exactly what this type of person is thinking. Tempty continues, at the time I made this initial tweet, I had seen that no one was seriously injured in the shooting today. Knowing now that two died, I mean, I guess technically two died. The person in the crowd and the shooter. What? One victim here. There's one victim. I don't know why you'd say two died. You're giving like victim credit to the guy who was shooting, which is really weird, by the way. But anyways, there are two people in critical condition. But as far as I am understanding, and I've double checked this as of publishing this, they are still alive. I regret using flippant language, but I do not believe it is wrong to speculate about the political implications of an assassination attempt! In all capitals. It's like, well, talk about straw man argument and misdirection and moving the goalposts. That's not what you were arguing. You're literally changing what you said to fit the narrative and make it feel like, oh, actually all that other stuff I said before, that's not what I'm talking about. All I'm doing is speculating on the assassination attempt narrative. I'm not saying that anything else is wrong with it. I'm just saying, oh, we're just speculating. We're allowed to speculate. You literally said, if at first you don't succeed. I don't understand how that's speculation, but again, I digress. And this goes on and on and on. Like, there are so many people. If I were to compile it all in an article, it would turn into a book. So I don't know how to keep covering these. I'm just going to make follow-up videos, stuff like that. But the video game industry is full of rotten people, rotting it from the core, inside out. These political agendas and narratives that have been shoved down everyone's throats. They can't even think for themselves. They don't even care about video games. They want their agendas pushed out there. And all I'm doing is exposing their asses. I mean, I could talk more about the journalists, which this one really goes on forever. Chris Cruz, a senior editor at Rolling Stone, said, y'all mind just killing me now? I really don't want to spend the next 6 months slowly mentally unraveling at the unstoppable future ahead of us before eventually dying a slow death in whatever gulag they have for minorities in former East Coast liberal havens. Chris Cruz, a white male, is worried about dying because of a minority? It's either like TDS or self-hatred or I don't even know, like, what's going on. These people have severe mental issues that they're projecting onto the rest of the world instead of trying to figure them out and take care of themselves. They're trying to get angry at everyone else. This is one of those moments where we all need to take a giant step back, self-reflect, and wonder what we're saying and how we're thinking, if it's the right approach. Because I would like to argue that what happened with this assassination attempt to President Trump should bring people together on both sides of the aisle and communicate how this is not what we want out of our country. And I'd like to think that's a good place to start. But I don't know. Reading all these things online, it makes you feel like you're living in a bubble and everyone else is crazy. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com. Like I said, I will link this article in the description below. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing and would like to support this cause, please consider hitting that join button like so many of you already have. Genuinely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Also taking the game super seriously all the time, being fun. Good fight. Oh, this game is super winnable. I'm trying to like find a balance of like my mental state.
Smash it.